y'all. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It Puff. We are here with another episode, and this episode is a little juicy, and it's one that causes heated debate. We're going to talk today about your sexual history and dating and in relationships in general. Are you a person who has been judged in the past for your sexual history? Should that matter? Is that a question you ask when you're dating? Is that a question you've asked your spouse? Let's talk about it. Today we have Mr. Keith Price and Ms. Tanya Thomas, who are coming with their separate and different perspectives on the subject. We're going to dive right in. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Bye-bye.
Hey guys. Hey. I am back. And I'm excited to have the guest that I'm about to bring on. Y'all, we have a sexologist in the building. Hey, we're going to have Miss Lex, the sexologist, come up because, today's episode is called Bodies. And it's all about whether your sexual history matters and while you're dating or if you're in a relationship, should that matter or not? So I'm going to bring Miss Lex up and we're going to get her expert opinion on the subject. So hold please. Hi. Hey, Miss Lex. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm great, girl. I'm great. I'm alive.
Amen.
As long as I'm breathing, honey, I'm great.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you. I do not mind saying that I have never met a sexologist before. So, tell us what makes a sexologist. Like, how do you become a sexologist?
So, it is a real thing. I am certified through the American Board of Sexology. I did go to school and get training for this. I became a pleasure and intimacy coach first as my level 1, and then I went back for my level 2 through the Pleasure Masters Institute. And I went through all the steps, all the levels, and also there's a practicum at the end that you have to pass. And then you submit all your training, all your hours and everything through the American Board of Sexology. And they determine whether or not you pass or whether or not you qualify, based on what their requirements are.
So. Oh wow! So you this is like school, like for real, because I want the people to know.
Yes, this is legit. Like I worked 2 full-time jobs to get myself through school for this. I have 2 small ones, and it was tough, but I did it because also it's institutes, right? So it's not like you can apply for financial aid. It's completely out of pocket,
right?
So. Yeah.
So you were serious about it, but what made you go down this path?
What made me was my curiosity. Also putting all the research and studying that I have done to purpose. I was always that friend that friends came to talk about stuff, to get answers and to get ideas and how I do this and da 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 da. So honestly, full transparency, my dad is the one that pushed me to actually go to school. Mm-hmm. My biological father. And I went through and I did it and I was like, oh my goodness, I did it, and I have loved it ever since. I love learning about it, the science of it, the intimacy of it, the stickiness of it, the pleasure of it all. So yeah, I did it and it's been very rewarding.
Oh, it sounds like it. And I can imagine because we are so, for some reason, it's like it's 2 settings now. First it was just so taboo to even have conversations about sex, which you still have that kind of elements. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
And to this extreme now where we've had social media and now sex is so, I don't know how to describe it because now it's talked about in ways that are sometimes a turnoff. You know what I mean? Because it like I can talk about sex openly. I'm 50. I've had enough of it. It's comfortable, but it's never been uncomfortable for me to talk about. Yeah. But it's still a way that it's talked about that makes it less desirable. that makes it less about intimacy. You know what I mean? That makes it
Yeah.
less, because even if you just like, like the physical nature of it,
Mhm.
there still could be an intimacy in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just, so it's like it's like the middle is lost. The middle ground between not wanting to talk about it at all and talking
Mhm.
about it in ways that makes it not even a desirable thing.
Yeah. I think social media and dating apps have um, amplified judgment and comparison when it comes to the topic of sex, or even, how many people or partners that you've had, or how much experience do you have. On one hand, they promote open conversation, and on the other hand, they condemn you for having the
Absolutely.
act, having the sex, right? Body count
Hide
debates.
it. Be comfortable with
Right,
it, but hide it.
right. Body count debates, purity culture, performative sexuality,
Mhm.
all of that type of stuff. And it reduces people from, it reduces people to statistics rather than the connection of
Right,
sex. And
right.
that is where it becomes the negative outlook of sex, and it makes people less, okay, I want to talk about it, but I don't want to be judged. So
Right,
they recluse, so they, pull back from the
right,
conversation. If you're not on a popular platform, or you don't go with the way the comments are going on certain things.
right,
Yeah.
right. And it's always been so weird to me. I've always been a very kind of open person, and
Mhm.
I mean open as in I've never really been ashamed to talk about anything. Just
Mhm.
even when I was younger, because that's just back then I called it fake confidence. I portrayed this overly confident person when really I was self-conscious about stuff, but I didn't want people to know it. So I had this very
Mhm.
out personality, but I was never shy about sharing things because I always felt like if you judge me, I didn't need to be around you anyway. And
Right.
I don't care if you judge me. Like,
Right.
my insecurities was really
Period.
rooted in me. So I have a very colorful sexual past, mostly
Mhm.
because I was sexually assaulted when I was younger, and sometimes that leads
Mhm.
to that. But the weird thing that I find in being uncomfortable talking about sex is that's how most of us got here. It's like the mere fact that it's still such a nuanced and taboo subject is that's why we're here. Like it's
Right.
really a natural part of life, and I don't know why we make it this weird thing. I just do not
Yeah.
know, and I know a lot of it is religion, morality, and all those things
Mhm.
that other people push on you that really
Yep.
don't have anything to do with the fact that that is how we all got here. Somebody is
Right.
doing it. Everybody is
Yes.
doing it.
Yes.
So what is the
Yes.
problem? So that goes to let's get into the topic that we're talking about.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so, kind of exploring each other's sexual history, or if that's something that you even explore, because it is one of those things. People tend to
Mhm.
reduce you um, to, especially when you're talking about sex, to these titles. If you've
Mhm.
had a lot of sexual partners,
Yeah.
you're a whore. If you know what I'm
Yep.
saying, if you haven't had
Yep.
a lot of sexual partners, you're this and you're that, and it's just so weird because again, we're individuals.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just really weird. So the first question I want to ask you, and I got some, I sent you some questions, and I told you we gonna vibe. I'm gonna ask you some of these questions, but child, I ain't gonna look at some of these questions. But some of these questions I really, really do want you to know. So listen, I told you this is
Okay.
very, we're gonna be very comfortable here.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So this is my first question.
Mhm.
As a certified sexologist, and I'm sure you're used to having to create safe spaces for people because in order
Mhm.
to have those
Absolutely.
conversations, you have to feel like you're in a safe space.
Mhm.
What's your take on why sexual history is such a triggering topic in dating?
Um, I would say first, sexual history is triggering because it's deeply tied in personal values, insecurities, social conditioning. Um, Many people associate their partner's past with their self-worth.
Mm, mm,
Um, fearing comparisons or feeling less than. Cultural and religion aspects play a part also.
Mhm.
Insecurities on uh, how the other person will perceive their sexual experiences. Um, and with all of that encompassing, it reinforces the shame of it all.
Mhm.
That creates that insecurity, and that bringing up that topic and making it a triggering factor.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, girl, you said a lot. You said a mouthful, and we had just kind of touched on a little bit that before that too. It's just
Yeah.
all of these things that really might not even have anything to do with the actual individual.
I know. They don't really wanna see me shine though. You don't really wanna see me shine though. I know. They don't really wanna see me shine though. I said, you don't really wanna.
Who is it? What?
Yo, I'm looking for Serenity Allen.
She ain't here.
She told me to meet her here.
And who the fuck are you?
She was a stripper.
How did you feel about her new occupational choice? I mean, you had to have some kind of disagreement.
She used to tell me that she wasn't making enough to support her and her daughter. He made in one night what we made in 2 weeks at the grocery store.
We're back, and I'm here with my guests, Miss Tanya Thomas and Mr. Keith Price. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Doing
I'm
good.
so glad to have you guys here today. Thank you so much for being willing to talk about this particular subject because it is a little risque. But we grown. We grown. So I'm going to get right into it.
Okay.
So today's subject is, whether to one disclose how many sexual partners you've had when you're dating or when you're in a relationship, and how you feel about it in general. So the first question I'm going to ask is, how do you think society's views on sexual history differs from a man to a woman? You can answer first.
I think society gives men more of an okay to have a bigger sexual history than men. So I think
Women,
they look at it different.
I agree with you. They do. They definitely give guys like, hey, that's okay. You can do that. But for women, they're like, you can't really do that because they're more judgmental on women.
Right.
I feel like, yeah, it's just not fair, in my opinion. I don't think it's fair.
It's not fair. I think because, we're, I don't know, it's still this, first of all, this is still a patriarchal society. I think everybody agrees there.
Yeah.
And, women are still expected to be ladylike, whatever that means.
Right, right.
So, we are judged more, and it's not fair. So, as it relates to you guys personally, first of all, is that a question that you want answered? Like, do you ask your partner that, how many sexual partners they've had? Does that matter to you?
You want me to go first?
Oh, yeah, you go first.
Okay. No. I mean, I personally don't ask that question. I don't even think I really think about it. And nor does it matter. And I don't think I've been asked. If it ever happened or the conversation came up, it would have been like maybe in my younger years of dating. But in this season, I'm 50, so that's not like it's not a conversation.
Right. What about you?
Ooh, Well, I don't ask the question because I feel like leave the past in the past. It creates insecurity when you're asking. I get asked the question a lot.
Oh,
dating.
really?
I don't like answering it because if I give you the answer, then you're gonna be like, oh well, you feel some type of way. Now you have questions, other questions about the past, and I don't like talking about the past. I feel like the past, it has different trauma and wounds, and you just want to leave it alone. Just leave it at that.
That is so interesting that you get. So you get asked that a lot when you're dating. That is so interesting. And then they can't handle the answer when you give it to them.
And if you don't mind me asking, what's your age? At least your age range.
So I'm 24. So my age range.
I mean, no, that's what I meant. Like your age.
Oh yeah,
so I was trying to get an idea of that age range.
But that's like you said. When we were younger, it was a little different. So I'm assuming you date women that's around your age.
Prefer older, but
okay.
I try to stay at my
What
age
you
range.
consider older?
I was 22 talking to a 32-year-old.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I mean, that's still
Still
to us.
young,
That's still
but
fairly young. Yeah. But it does differ. It differs with age, right? Because when you get older, a lot of things that we cared about when we were younger, it doesn't matter,
Right.
But even when I was younger, for me, probably because I was always, I was in the street all the time. So, and I have a colorful past. So because I have a colorful past, I wasn't going to judge anybody else about theirs, even when I was younger.
Yeah.
So
I like that term, colorful past.
Yes, that's what I call it. I call it colorful. Brights. But that's why I like to talk about this, though, because I'm a shock value person. I mean, things shouldn't be shocking, but I know how people are. Again, I know how judgmental people are. So I like the shock value. So, I tend to have conversations first to gauge how people feel about it. And then I might shock you with some information about myself and see if that changes your opinion.
Right.
Because people will be real comfortable being judgmental about things until they think that you don't fit into that category. But then when I did it too, then they tend to, but I'm not talking about you because you're different. How?
Yeah.
How? But suffice it to say, why do you feel like a woman's sexual history, and we touched on this a little bit already, a woman's sexual history matters so much more than a man, other than it being about patriarchy? Like, why do you think that? I know my opinion of it is a lot of times when we date men, not to put you all in one lump, because we never talk about everybody, right? Men tend to see us sometimes like property, like we're precious little beings that you can't, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where the hypocrisy comes in. But other than that, why do you think it's so different for men versus women? Because I mean, if I'm intimate with 5 people and you're intimate with 5 people, what's the difference?
Yeah.
But why do you think there's such a difference?
I think it's a difference because for men, like for some of my old friends and friends I do have, it's not an emotional thing. It's just physical and leave. And my opinion, I've heard like from women that it's emotional. So it's a reason why they're doing this with that person and that person. For men, some of us don't care. If you got legs and you look pretty, right there. But for women, it's more, I think, detailed, and they're looking for traits that if I'm doing this with this person and it leads to more, I can actually see myself with them. So men don't really think like that.
That's interesting. That's interesting because you're right. You guys sometimes, and I'm using the you guys very general. You guys tend to not believe that we can have the same mentality as you. That's what it is, because it could be just physical for us too. Especially nowadays, it's a lot going on nowadays. There's a lot going on nowadays. Why do you feel? I mean, I know right now you say it's because you've gotten older, but did you have was it very different when you were younger? Did it matter to you a lot when you were younger if a guy was with a lot of other people?
Um, I don't I don't think to the degree that he's saying that he's asked. Like I don't recall it being that common of a conversation. So for me, I think that type of conversation came up on a more personal basis, like depending who that person was, or something drove that conversation into play or whatever. Not just because, okay, this is a part of my questioning when we meet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that. I see that. I don't remember being asked a lot too, because I think just like you said, men don't want to know.
Yeah.
And I think if they did know, it would change their perspective. Like you could be like really, they can really like you.
Yeah.
As soon as they find out that piece of information, all of a sudden you're a different person than you was before
And
they found
I
out.
would also think that maybe insecurities within that person, I'm just speaking as far as women go, insecurities within a young lady to where that would make that big of a difference to where they want to just dive into that conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. But you know, the interesting thing is, just like I was just saying, if you don't know that information first, and we spend a long time talking and getting to know each other, and I'm just this amazing, wonderful person, and then I tell you that information, and you change that. It says more about you than it does me. You know, like it really does.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I changed as a person. You know, it's just it really is a perspective thing. I mean, everything is, but it really is a perspective thing. And I think a lot of people don't think about the other side of that. Like for me, I was very promiscuous when I was younger. Very promiscuous when I was younger. And but I was sexually assaulted when I was younger. And that tends to lead to promiscuity. So we judge each other very harshly without really knowing that sometimes it's rooted in, you know, trauma. And we don't give each other that break or, you know, give each other that humanity to, you know, to decipher that.
Yeah.
How do you balance, I'm going to ask you this since you get asked that a lot now. How do you balance honesty about your past with, I don't know, with privacy? Because that's a thing too. You know, even when I was married, I think I'm still owed privacy. You know what I mean? Like we tend to think because we're in these relationships that now we're one and we have to do these things together and we have to whatever, but I'm still an individual. He's still an individual. So we still have pride. Like, don't touch my phone. It's mine.
Right.
I don't care what you think you're owed. That's my phone. I have private things in it, even though I'm in a relationship. So how do you balance honesty with, hey, this is private. This is you do not have the right to know this.
Well, whenever I meet a woman, I tell them up front, hey, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. But I also create boundaries. Like my phone, like you said, I don't look through phones, so I expect the same thing because that's private. That's a no-go. But you can pretty much ask me anything. I'll tell you the truth about it. I just try to create healthy boundaries where if you feel some type of way about something, ask me then. We can talk about it so that way you can feel better. I don't want somebody to ever have to hold it in and it creates another problem that leads to another problem. I just keep a healthy line of communication.
Right. I mean, that's interesting too, because you're in your 20s. You know, normally you don't hear that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you.
It's like you really don't.
That was a very mature.
It was.
Or beyond your age. Look on it.
And what about you? That's why I actually like this dynamic because, you know, again, I'm 52 and you're in your 20s and Tanya is 50. So just to hear, you know, the difference of opinions with that big of an age range, you know, it's good. How do you do that? Because again, the older we get, things change. Like we don't realize it's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one day we wake up and we're just like, okay, I don't like that no more.
Right.
So
right.
how do you, with dating, how do you balance honesty with privacy? Like, is that a problem now with dating people that's around our age?
Well, I want to say that I'm a pretty open book as well. If you want to know something, ask me. But as far as me just delivering information, I think as you get older, you look at the bigger picture of things, and you decide, what really matters. What can come out of me being so open about this particular subject. So I think it's looking at the bigger picture of what happens with delivering too much information. And then some things are just my things.
Right.
And I still have my things that I may not want to just be so transparent about. But if you ask me, we can have that conversation.
And make sure you want to know.
Right, right. and that's the thing I'm saying, looking at the bigger picture, like
Right.
I'm not gonna ask you a question or a personal question if I know there's an answer I don't want to hear.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna even ask you. If I don't
Absolutely.
want to hear, if there's an answer that can possibly be given that I don't want to hear, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna go looking in your phone and stuff because I don't want to go look for nothing I don't want to find.
And if you look for stuff, most of the time you find it because
Yeah,
you're looking
I
to
already
find
know
something.
it's there. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, and that's a good point too. I always tell people, if you even have the inclination or the urge to look through somebody's phone, you already know the answer.
More than likely,
You know the
that
answer.
is your answer.
You ain't got to find nothing. You
Yeah.
gon' so just that means you have a trust issue.
Right. And just to add to that a little bit, I hope my daughter don't be mad. But so my daughter is 31. So, me and her, we're like best friends. And so we have conversations about her relationship and everything. But it's always a challenge with me, explaining and breaking things down to her based on how I see things and how I know things to be in life right now versus how she sees it, and trying to make sure I'm not saying let somebody walk all over you, because she's not at the point to get it right now. So those are the struggles of me trying to explain things to her now, and her understanding. So.
And you're her mom.
Right, right.
They just don't like listening to us anyway, which they should. I don't, but yes. But to circle back to something that we were just saying about giving too much information, I was very much that person. And for the same reason I said shock value, I had this, and I'm still kind of, no, I'm not. I'm not like that so much now. But I used to do this thing where I would give all of this information about my past because I wanted to know if you were going to judge me. And part of that is okay, but another part is kind of like an entrapment thing that's probably not okay. You know what I mean? And I had to understand that as I matured. You know what I mean? Because some things is too much information.
Right.
But for me back then, it was, I'm going to tell you this to shock you, to see your response, because if you judge me, I don't want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But still, I guess thinking back on it now, it was kind of a little childish too. You know what I mean? Even though I don't want you to judge me for my past is my past. And I don't have to tell you every detail of it to gauge whether you like me or not, or whether you think, whether you're going to judge me or not.
Right.
So that was a really good point too, about divulging too much information. I already asked that age. The question is, does age change your views? But how much of, in thinking about like your sexual past or your intimacy past when it relates to dating, how much of that did change though? Like, is there something like really core to you as it relates to, are you dating right now? Ooh, I feel like that was a loaded question.
I have no.
Girl, we are not editing it out. Okay. When you are dating again, is there like something, like, let's say that is core from 20 years ago that is still core now as it relates to intimacy with the new person, or has everything changed from 20-something-year-old Tanya to 50-year-old Tanya?
So do you mean as far as what I like intimately, or?
No, as far as like when you start dating somebody, right? I don't want to say like, and you guys are discussing your exes.
Okay.
Have you changed as it relates to that discussion, or is it something that you're very much the same on? Is your belief system kind of the same with anything as it relates to the discussion about exes and past partners?
I would, assuming I'm understanding you correctly, I would say probably for me not too much, because when it comes to dating and sexual relations and all that stuff, I'm pretty traditional. I haven't flipped over with the new ways that people think. I still want one guy, one partner. I'm not into all the new stuff they got going on now. So I'm pretty traditional when it comes to that. I'm not, I'm not into the casual dating or casual sex stuff. So, and I've always been like that.
Okay.
So, and I'm still like that. Sometimes
So yeah,
I wish I wasn't like that, because it would be so much easier.
Girl, no, it's not.
Oh, no.
Girl, no, it's not. But no, yeah, you answered it. That was exactly the answer. Yes.
Yeah, I have to have emotional connection, with whoever I'm with.
Okay, what about you? Well, I mean, you still kind of.
Yeah. Well,
You still on the journey. You still on the journey.
yeah, I'm still on the journey.
And you're dating right now. Maybe that's an easier question.
You took that deep breath too.
Bad experiences. I stopped dating. Taking a break. But if I do meet somebody, we can be friends, and if it leads to something, yes. But I'm not looking to date right now. I've had too many bad experiences.
So you say you're 24.
24.
So have you grown a lot since?
Yeah.
From 18 maybe to 24?
I've grown a lot.
Because I'm like, my son is 23, so I'm like I just can't imagine I just can't imagine him having the conversation.
Yeah, because your demeanor is so much older than 24. That's why I would have never guessed that. Like, your demeanor is so much older.
Mind you, he's been with the same girl since the 9th grade too. But I just couldn't imagine him having the responses that you have.
Yeah, very mature.
Yeah, it took a lot of growth.
It's a lot of growth.
A lot of growth.
Well, I have, again, the other perspective. Mine has changed a lot, like a lot, in ways that I never thought it would. Because like I said, we get older, we don't realize that things are changing and things are different. So having the colorful past that I have to now, My dude knows my past because, like I say, I was very vocal always, and we've known each other for, I don't know, 16 years. So he met me when I was kind of, done with having the colorful past that. But I still told him everything. And he told me everything because his past is colorful.
Okay.
So even going from then to now, dating before I, got with him and like divulging all of that information, I remember at first it was me telling the guys this as a way to say, hey, I'm cool. We could just keep it casual. I don't want anything anyway, because a lot of us start off that way, right? But then you start feeling some kind of way the more you're casual with those people, because emotions can come into play. But then now I've divulged all of this information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was harder for them to look at me differently because I've told them all of those things, and then I started casual, like I didn't want anything or whatever. So now, fast forward to now, I have a hard time. Well, me and him split for a while, and then I got back into dating, and now I have a hard time being casual, which that was normal to me before. Like it was so that's all I did before, because again of trauma. It was harder for me to be emotional with people. It was easier for me to be casual with people.
Right.
And now, getting back out there dating, especially close to 50, it was weird. It was weird land for me. I'm like, wait, this is easy. I know how to do this, but I didn't anymore because I got older.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to just, why are you touching me? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's happening? Why are you putting your hands on me? So it was a very interesting transition from that much activity to now I don't even know what to do now. You know what I mean? And especially since dating is so crazy. Like it's like everybody is crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't care how old you are. I'm hearing the stories from everybody. Just like nobody knows how to do it anymore. It's all topsy-turvy.
Yeah, and what's frustrating is it seems like my way or how I look at that type of stuff, it's like I'm not the normal person anymore. It's like I'm not the normal person anymore. And I hate it so bad.
I know, because again, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a little break, guys, and pay some bills, and we'll be right back. See you in a second. Bye.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Hey guys, we're back. We're back with Miss Tanya Thomas and Mr. Keith Price having a conversation about dating and sex in dating. Because we grown folks and we could do that. Let's talk social media. Look at that response. Because I know social media is why the world is crazy. Okay, like it is the best worst thing that could have ever happened to us in this society, period. And I'm using best very loosely because honestly, I'd rather go back to rotary dial phones than what we got going on. So how much do you think social media contributes? How much is that's actually a moot question, because
gravely. It contributes a lot. But in what ways, is a better question, does social media contribute to dating and sex in dating? Let me ask you that.
Well, it contributes a lot. I mean, it could be positive and negative. From a negative aspect, a lot of people compare their relationships to other people's relationships, and they're like, oh, well, they're going here, here, and here. We're not doing any of that. But behind the scenes, you don't know what the other couple is going through. So that's a conversation. Good things, I can't think of too many good things. I don't really have no good things about dating and social media. Social media just ruined everything.
It has.
Like, people feel like everything has to be recorded and posted and shown when some things are meant to be private. And if the situations were in private, half of the problems that were in the relationship wouldn't happen. Because you have to worry about other women watching your story, liking your pictures. Oh, why she's only a friend, but she's liking all your pictures, why she messaging you. There's a lot of unnecessary problems
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And I don't even know when that happened. Like, when did we get to a place where if somebody like a picture, then that's an argument? I mean,
or if you do a heart versus a smiley face or a thumb.
Like, when did this happen? And I was talking with my production team earlier. I blocked my dude on Facebook. Listen, you got one time to ask me why somebody said something under my picture. I don't even know them. Blocked. He's still blocked. He's been blocked for 8 years. I'm so serious, and we live together. I am not playing because I don't know. We've been here. We was here before social media. So, we had to acclimate to this craziness. What? Hearts, likes. Why are we arguing about strangers online? That is so weird to me. That is so weird to me. And then also the sex. It's like everybody doing everything.
Yeah, they doing some.
Yeah, it's like I was looking at something earlier. And this, especially the young people, Jesus. And I don't like saying especially because we did a lot of craziness in our day too. It's just everybody didn't have access to our craziness. You may have no pictures of me doing it, so I can have plausible deniability. Okay. Right. But I read this post earlier, and the girl was bragging that she had sex with her baby daddy's boyfriend.
Seen that.
I had to read it like 3 times to even understand, but I'm like, well, sis, why is that even online? Yeah. First of all, why did you do it? That's a lot.
Right.
And why is it online? So it's like, how do you even approach dating? How do you even approach sex when you have to compete with so much noise? And nobody knows what's normal anymore, which, I mean, normal is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And especially, again, at our age, like, I don't, let me tell you.
But you'll be surprised, like, how many people, even in our age range, like, they're rolling with the thought process of the younger generation.
They are. That's why I left my ex. We back together. It's too crazy outside. I can't do it. It's too crazy because I'm talking to you. You 50. I'm 50. What are you saying?
Yeah,
what are you even talking about? I expect that from I used to do that. Why are we even let the young people do what the young people do? Hey, again, we did it.
Yeah.
Why are you going backwards?
Right.
Because that's what's happening online.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's lunacy. So when you're dating, are you finding these people online?
It's half and half. Half in person, half online. But I think the best experience for me is meeting somebody in person, because meeting somebody for the first time after you've been talking online can be a weird experience. And you'd be like, it wasn't like this in the messages, but it's different tones and different vibes, and then when you meet them in person, they're not the same person they were over text. So it's like, well, where we go from here.
Or they
Right.
don't look the same.
Don't look catfishing, yes. Definitely don't look the same.
How about you? You been dating online too?
No. Everyone that I mean, I have met people, you know, through Facebook or whatever, but none that I've like dated. And I have a history of long relationships also. So everyone that I've had like what would be considered a real relationship with, I've met in, you know, traditionally in person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I met my dude online 16 years ago when it was real taboo to meet people online.
Okay. Like through a dating site?
Blackplanet.com. Remember
Oh,
Black Planet?
okay.
Yep. And it wasn't even for dating then. It was really a networking site then.
Oh, okay.
So it was real taboo then. But even then, it was still kind of, I don't know, you still can be kind of private. You know what I mean? Even though you was online. Now it's just, you got to watch it because people will expose you online. They'll put your messages online. It's like, you got to watch who take pictures of you. Like, you stay at somebody's house, you sleep, they taking pictures of you while you sleep. Like, it's too much going on. It's too much. So we're going to play a game. To gauge our responses. So each one of you guys will get, you should have a red one, a yellow one, and a green one.
Okay.
And this is a quick fire game. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. We're gonna see if they was honest today, y'all. They probably make sure they gave us the they didn't just give us the PC answers. Because what I gauge from both of you guys is the past should be in the past, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it don't matter what happened in the past. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions.
Okay.
And if you are cool with the question, then you hold up the green.
Okay.
If it would be something that you would need to talk to the person about, like if you're dating a person and you find this piece of information or whatever, you need to talk, then you put the yellow. If it's a deal breaker, it's a no, then you hold up the red. So you just hold it up real quick. You don't have to say anything. Just hold up the question. So green if you cool with it, yellow if it's something that you could talk about it and discuss, and red if it's a deal breaker. So y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay. I ain't got my glasses on, y'all, so, you know, bear with me. All right. They slept with your cousin in the past.
Ooh.
What if you already been seeing each other for like, what if y'all been dating for five years? That they didn't know they was with your cousin because they had never seen this cousin before, and they go to a family reunion with you and they see this cousin.
Then it could be we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. They're a virgin at 35.
We'll talk about it.
I ain't say I ain't got time to be teaching nobody nothing, okay? They've been divorced twice. Ooh, y'all.
What is it?
They talk about it. They used to be an exotic dancer. You don't like the thongs, Tanya? Like,
No.
I ain't gonna lie, I do not like. Me and the no. I'm sorry, I'm not with the male exotic dancers.
Look, I don't even want to see you gyrate too much
Listen,
as a man.
I don't want to go with you to the club to see them. I'm just not a male exotic. I didn't have none at my bridal shower. No, thank you.
Well, now I can enjoy one, but I don't want my man to be one.
You got a thong and some tassels on your boots. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Your partner's social media is full of photos with their exes. Oh, you just say no.
Yeah.
What if they just haven't gotten around, like it hasn't been their priority to delete it or whatever?
You know, I'm different. Like once we done, we done. Deleting the pictures, contact everything same day.
Oh.
So I feel like
Same day.
So I feel like if you still got pictures of them, you still have a connection to them. You're gonna look at them and be like, you missed something from them. So
That's interesting.
I'd rather not be a part of it.
That's interesting. Okay, so you do find out that your partner has been with a significant amount of people other than you, or significantly more than you.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I was good.
Okay. Significantly more.
Like how much?
I knew there was gonna be a number. I knew we had a number. 30.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, 50. 100?
Oh. That's a lot.
You learn your partner has dated several people in your circle, in your social circle. Okay. All right. Tanya said she'll give you a chance.
That's that big. Looking at the big picture could be a number of reasons.
Listen, because again, I'm 50 and I used to get around. But
And
no,
Jacksonville is big but small.
I can't do the. It's something about two people in the room that I've been with and being in the same room. I can't. Like, it just bothers my whole spirit. I don't know why. I be feeling like they're going to get in a room and talk about me or something. They've cheated in every past relationship they ever been in. So you ain't never cheated?
I mean, I think I cheated like once or twice in high school, but I don't really count that. Outside that, no, I'm a pretty loyal person.
Okay.
So when I'm single, you should be worried.
Okay. We're gonna talk to you in about 10 years. 15. We get 15. Okay. You come on now. Whoever listen. These questions. These questions. This person must be was traumatized by they partner dating people that was close to them, because it's like 5 questions that relate to partners. Yes. I'm not gonna even ask that no more. Okay, one more question. Your partner has much more. No. I just answered that. Your partner has no. See, you know what? I'm not even going. Okay. You find out your partner had a casual relationship with someone you both. What? See, every single one of them. You find out your partner had a casual relationship with someone you both regularly see at social events. So they're not related to you, but you always gonna see this person out.
Oh, well, that's happened.
She said that's happening.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Now, you know what? I have this rule with, that's it. Y'all say good. Y'all say good.
Thank you.
I have this rule with my dude, and really anybody that I've ever dated. If you've been with somebody that we see out, you need to tell me. Not because I'm going to be jealous, not because I'm going to approach that person, none of that. But don't ever have me in a room with other people who know more than I know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my rule. For that, you ain't got to tell me everybody you've been with, but we walk in a room and you see somebody, you need to let me know, alert me. Because I don't want nobody to be looking across the room in her head going, I've been with him. I want to be able to look at my head and go, I know.
Yeah. And I'm big on it's not so much what you do or what you did, it's how you handle it, and it's the how respecting me in the situation or whatever. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it or how you did it for me.
And communication is a big part of that. Because again, you ain't got to divulge everything, but you don't need to be somebody that I think is being secretive either.
Right.
Because it's a difference between being private and not telling me all your business because you think it's private and that's yours, and you purposefully not telling me something because you know I'm going to react in a certain way based off you telling me.
Right.
Because to me, that's lying.
Right. And one of my pet peeves is like, don't have me in these streets looking like no fool.
They don't have me looking like no fool in these streets.
No, because I think I'm a pretty confident person. I'm not jealous. I've lived long enough to know that, life be lifing or whatever. So, like you said, communication is everything. As long as we done talked about it, I know I want nobody to be able to come to me and tell me something about you that you haven't already told me.
Right.
I need to be able to say, oh, child, I know that.
Right. And again, it's a, for me too, the judgment is huge for me. You know what I mean? If I've told you all of, enough of my past for you to know that I have one, then it shouldn't matter if somebody else, tries to come and mess that up, tell you something, whatever. I mean, because I can't tell you everything. I don't remember everything.
Yeah.
But you know enough.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, guys, for being on with us today and having this conversation. It wasn't too risque,
It was fun.
It wasn't too risque. But I wanted to have the conversation with. Because I don't think that we talk enough, and I mean men and women. I don't think that we talk enough. I think that we talk at each other a lot, but I don't think that we talk to each other enough. So as much as I can, I'm gonna have our different perspectives on it, so we can talk about it. So thank you, Tanya and Keith, for being on Let's Talk About It today, and see you guys later. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Experience the best of both worlds with Paris Genzier's braid services. Enjoy affordable pricing and premium quality braids that eliminate the need for daily styling.
All right, guys, that's all for today. We want to thank Keith and Tanya for being with us today and sharing their different perspectives on the subject. I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like if you're honest at the beginning, then everybody will have an understanding. And, maybe stop being so judgmental, because why? You can't change our past. But thank you so much for being with us today. Now, next week, we're going to have a very sensitive topic next week. Next week, we're going to have Miss Paris Janzer on and Miss Tiffany Harris to talk about whether to forgive your parents or not. Woo, we might have to bring some tissues for that. But join us again next week, guys. Until then, remember, keep it real with yourself, stay true to yourself, and don't let other people's judgment hold you back. See you next week on Let's Talk About It Puff. Bye.